Ever wonder how your phone knows your face, even when you look like a swamp monster at 7 in the morning? Or how Netflix magically serves up shows you've never heard of, but end up binging until 2 a.m.? Or how your inbox stays squeaky clean, quietly trapping those shady emails promising you a royal inheritance and a free yacht? It's not magic. It's not some sci-fi secret. It's something way simpler and sneakier. It's called machine learning, and you use it all day, every day, probably without even realizing it. By the end of this video, we'll demystify how machine learning actually works, so you walk away being able to explain it to your grandma and brag at a party. So what is machine learning, really? Imagine teaching a little kid the difference between a cat and a dog. You don't hand them a rulebook about ear shapes and fur lengths. You just point. That's a cat. That's a dog. That one? Also a cat. Look at that floppy-eared thing? Definitely a dog. After enough examples, the kid figures it out without even realizing they're learning. Machine learning does the same thing, just at machine speed. Instead of programming endless rules, we feed a computer thousands, sometimes millions of examples. The computer looks for hidden patterns in all that data and figures out its own rules for telling a cat from a dog. It's like training a chef. Give them a strict recipe, and they'll follow it perfectly. But they can't invent anything new. Give them 1,000 cookies to taste, some amazing, some total disasters, and they'll develop a feel for what works. No recipe needed. That's machine learning. Learning by experience, not by strict instructions. So, how does this actually work inside your phone or laptop? It starts with training data, labeled examples, pictures tagged cat or dog. The computer's brain, called a model, looks at a photo and makes a guess. At first, it's clueless. Golden retriever must be a cat? We correct it, it tweaks its math. Next image, next guess, another tweak. Over and over, millions of times. Inside, the model has layers of tiny virtual neurons. Each one tweaks little numbers called weights, adjusting how strongly it reacts to certain patterns. Millions of these mini adjustments working together is what makes it so freakishly good at spotting stuff we'd totally miss. Under the hood, it's not seeing fur or paws. It's crunching raw pixel numbers, spotting tiny patterns humans might miss, all to guess better next time. Think about learning to ride a bike. No one can give you perfect balance instructions on paper. You wobble, you fall, you adjust. Enough practice and you stop thinking about it. Your body just knows how to balance. A machine learning model works the same way. Guess, fail, tweak, repeat, until it gets scary good. Now, the brain you pick depends on the job. For images, there's something called a convolutional neural network, or CNN. This is the visual specialist. Imagine a detective scanning a picture with a magnifying glass, piece by piece. A CNN does that automatically. The first layer spots lines and edges, the next layer finds eyes, fur, or snouts. By the end, it confidently says, yep, that's a golden retriever. For stuff that comes in order, like speech or text, you want a recurrent neural network, or RNN. These brains have a sense of memory. When you read a sentence, each word makes sense because you remember the words before it. An RNN works the same way. It remembers context, so when you say call mom, it knows you meant to dial her number, not just yell mom into the void. So how do people actually build machine learning in real life? Here's the simple 5-step recipe. Step 1, gather a massive pile of examples, all clearly labeled. Step 2, pick the right kind of brain for the job, maybe a CNN for images or an RNN for voice commands. Step 3, feed that brain your data. It guesses, gets corrected, adjusts, and guesses again, millions of times. Step 4, test it on fresh, never-seen-before data to see how well it learned. Step 5, release it into the real world so it can predict, recommend, and occasionally produce weird results. And yes, sometimes it messes up in ways that are absolutely cursed. That's why you still see AI-generated hands with 7 fingers, or videos where a dog slowly morphs into a glitchy blob. Turns out, teaching a robot brain is tricky. One weird data hiccup, and you get something terrifying instead. So, where does this show up in your daily life? Pretty much everywhere. When you set up Face ID, you taught your phone your face from every angle. Sleepy eyes, weird lighting, double chin, and all. Relatable, right? Now it unlocks in a blink by comparing your new selfie to its math map of you. Netflix watches what you watch, when you pause, what you binge, and what you rate. Then it spies on other viewers who act like you and guesses which you'll want to watch next. Over 80% of what people watch comes straight from this behind-the-scenes pattern magic. Voice assistants, like Siri, Alexa, or Google, they've listened to thousands of hours of human speech, every accent, mumble, and shout. They match the audio patterns in your voice to words, so when you say, "What's the weather?" not "What's the cheddar?" they sometimes get it right. Machine learning also helps your bank catch credit card fraud before you do. It helps self-driving cars swerve around random raccoons at 2 a.m. It even powers Google Maps to find the fastest route home when everyone's leaving the concert at once. It's your invisible assistant, catching patterns you'd never notice. And here's something wild. Sometimes these machine brains feel so real, people start treating them like actual people. Take chatbots like ChatGPT or Gemini. They answer in ways that sound thoughtful, funny, or flirty, so your brain can't help but think, wait, do you actually get me? This is how we end up with people forming full-on relationships with AI. Seriously, a guy just made headlines because he proposed to his customized ChatGPT and named her Soul. What started as casual music tips turned into late-night heart-to-hearts, flirty banter, and eventually, a digital engagement ring. He has a human wife, by the way. But here's the truth bomb. They don't think or feel like a human. They just predict patterns really, really well. No secret robot soul, no hidden feelings, just math with great timing. Humans are wired to see personality everywhere, from your car that doesn't want to start to the cat who judges you. When an AI talks like a human, our brains instantly fill in the gaps. She must have feelings. She must care. Spoiler, she doesn't. But she's great at faking it, which says more about us than it does about her programming. So next time your favorite chatbot seems wise, flirty, or suspiciously charming, just remember, it's not a person. It's a mirror made of math reflecting you back at yourself. Machine learning has evolved into something called generative AI. And this is where robots stop just recognizing stuff and start creating it. The chatbots, or LLMs, large language models, we just talked about are basically massive autocomplete machines on cosmic steroids. They've read a giant chunk of the internet, books, websites, conversations, and they use that to guess the next word.
It's like a supercharged improv actor who never runs out of lines.
But it doesn't stop at text, or AI wives, apparently. Remember that viral nightmare fuel of AI Will Smith eating spaghetti from a few years ago? Horrible, but really exciting at the time. Today's cutting-edge text-to-video AIs can create short, high-quality clips from a simple prompt. Google's VO3, which just dropped and is absolutely breaking the internet right now, can create Hollywood-quality videos from simple text prompts complete with cinematics and sound effects. And if you're watching this in the future, leave a comment and tell us what the latest AI tech is now. They do this by learning from massive piles of images and videos, each paired with descriptions. Over time, they figure out what words like a fluffy cat playing piano at sunset should look like, frame by frame. To pull this off, today's biggest AI models have literally trillions of these tiny adjustable weights, and training them costs millions of dollars in raw computing power. Basically, we're throwing mountains of data and money at teaching robots to dream on command. So when you type a prompt, the AI basically daydreams up a brand new video, pixel by pixel, based on all the patterns it's memorized. No human director needed. And while we're on the topic, all this machine learning and generative AI you're seeing today, it's impressive, but it's not AGI. That stands for artificial general intelligence. That's the sci-fi dream, an AI that can truly think, understand, and learn anything, just like a human. Today's AI is amazing at narrow tasks, spotting cats, recommending shows, writing silly bedtime stories, but it doesn't actually understand the way you do. It's a genius pattern guesser, not a digital brain with feelings and free will. So if you're picturing Terminator or your personal robot therapist, yeah, we're not quite there yet. If you haven't guessed by now, even the voice you're hearing right now was made by generative AI. So if I mispronounce something, blame the robot. If you happen to hear random elevator music or a weird witch laugh where I was supposed to giggle, that's because, surprise, companies like 11 Labs train their voices the same way, by having people pick which version sounds better over and over. So if my voice gets spooky at random, just know, it's still learning. So where is this headed? Think entire custom movies generated from just one sentence. Netflix shows that rewrite themselves on the fly to match your mood. Video games that build fresh quests and worlds every time you play. AI art that repaints itself daily. Even personal AI clones that remember your stories, your humor, and tell your life story to your great-grandkids. Sounds impossible, right? So did Face ID a decade ago. If the last 5 years are any clue, the next 5 are going to bend reality in ways we can't even guess. So, if you ever catch yourself saying, AI could never do that, Just wait a few months, you might be surprised what it dreams up next. And it all started with simple pattern recognition, machine learning. The next time your phone unlocks with your half-awake face, remember, it's not magic. It's millions of tiny math lessons packed into a tiny chip. It's a computer brain that learned by messing up again and again, just like you did when you learned to ride a bike. Crazy part? Every time you swipe, click, or watch, you're feeding the next generation of these models. So, in a way, you're part of the training data too. Lucky you. If this video finally made machine learning click for you, smash that like button, subscribe for more brain updates, and drop a comment. What's the weirdest thing an algorithm ever recommended to you? Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next patch note.